Hello again, everybody. Welcome now to Mostly Sports Talk. I'm Ken Allison along with Cobb Oxford. And Cobb, you noticed we got the band back together and didn't wreck any taxi cabs or police cars when we did it. That wonderful.
They're so talented. They got one beat and they hit it every time.
They're good guys. They work cheap. And as you well know, I like guys who work cheap.
Right, exactly.
You got it yet?
No, I don't.
Well, let's see if you can.
There we go. Now I can hear.
No, if you move it like that, now you cut me off. Headphones, folks.
There we go.
On the headphones.
I got at least one ear.
Yeah, I got both mine now.
All right, I'm good.
Hey, everybody. Things going on in the world of sports, and that's what we talk about mostly. We're on December the 15th is when we have recorded this, before any bowl games. And right now, I'm going to delve first into some recruiting news that most people know, and some might not. Okay, first of all, Clemson picked up 2 5-stars in one day. They picked up a defensive tackle by the name of Dexter Lawrence. He's out of Wake Forest, North Carolina, Wake Forest High School. And he's a little guy at 6'5", 335. Now, high school kid. Mm-hmm. That wasn't fair, was it? Wow. He some people say he's the 8th overall player in the nation, the number 4 defensive tackle in the nation. He's the number 1 player in North Carolina, according to some people. Rivals has got him as number 2 overall. That's nationwide. And Scout has him as the number 10 player overall. He's a big guy, and I'm told that he does pretty good with the books, and that he is a person who can come right in. Probably, I would not be surprised to see him come in and start. You know, that big and...
Well, I watched a little bit of the film last night, and he's a man among boys right now.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see how he transfers to the college game, and he will be coming in January. He has signed the financial paperwork, which allowed Coach Sweeney to talk about him yesterday.
Now the kid can still back out. But you don't find them doing that much after they sign.
No. They once they sign that financial paperwork, it's pretty much that's as close as football has gotten to an early signing period as that financial paperwork. And
he's supposed to be here for spring training.
Yes, and that'll be the next step will be an actual signing day in November.
I hope so.
And that will. And there are people against that, just like tax lawyers and accountants are against abolishing the IRS. You got people that are against early signing day in football because it would kind of put them out of business with all this.
A lot of these scout people,
projections,
and TV shows,
because all the big names would be gone.
Yeah,
in November and February would basically be like basketball signing day now in April. You just don't hear anything about it anymore.
No, you don't. And
because basketball signs in November, and
baseball too.
Everybody's gone. So
yeah. And in basketball, you and I had a discussion about this yesterday. High school coaches have nothing to do with that much anymore. It's the AAU situation, which is
AAU and the handlers.
It's a bad situation, and that's another program.
It's not going to change it. It's not going to change.
No, I don't know. And, they're not breaking any laws.
I mean, I know a coach I talked to said that there are some, and a lot of schools don't go this route just because it's kind of slimy. But there are prospects out there that require schools to join their recruiting service to recruit them.
Yeah,
so obviously somebody's getting a kickback if they're selling memberships to recruit them, and that's something the NCAA needs to visit, I think, pretty quick. But a lot of that's been caused by the one and dones too. Everybody's trying to get the top 50 players and win a national championship, and then they go to the NBA and you do it again. Yeah. And there's only a few select schools that can operate that way.
Back to our football player. This guy had been offered supposedly by everybody in the ACC, the SEC, and most of the Big Ten.
Right. Yeah.
And so,
but Clemson offered him first.
Yeah. All right. Then later on yesterday, this is one of those things about commits. They had a guy who some people say is the nation's #1 quarterback.
And this is for not this year, but next year.
And he is he's class of 17, and he's 6'3", 205 from Brownsburg, Indiana, and he had committed to Tennessee. And just on a kind of a chance, he claims that he just got in touch, or somebody got in touch with him, and they came down last weekend, he and his family, for a visit. And it sold him. Mm-hmm. And so his early offers, now a lot of times when you hear this, it is not always real. Alabama, Cincinnati, Clemson, Florida, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kentucky, Miami, Michigan, Minnesota. I've been everywhere, man. North Carolina State, Northwestern, Notre Dame, Oklahoma, Penn State, Purdue, Vanderbilt, and others. Now, this kid is considered by some as a drop-back pro style.
Where is others located?
Others is located on the internet all over. These hundreds of sites and these guys on TV.
The old Jim Frazier joke.
Yeah. Okay, so and Jim Frazier's very old, and so he has. I've watched some of the film they put up on him.
Yeah.
The kid can run a little bit with the ball now. He can, and he says
he's going to have to at Clemson.
Yes, he'll have to. But you can go to TigerNet and pick up some of his highlights, and he can move around when he needs to.
Well, it's interesting that I think earlier in the week I read that Clemson and Tennessee were in a tussle for a quarterback from Cartersville, Georgia, and the kid grew up a Tennessee fan, but he was getting ready to really give Clemson a serious look. And I wonder if this commit changes that situation.
I bet it does. But now, see, here's the deal. All right, you got Watson for maybe one more year, at least one more year.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think there's a chance he might stay, too.
I do, too. All right, then you've got Kelly Bryant, and Kelly Bryant can run with the football. He can do things. I don't know if Kelly Bryant's ever going to be a big-time passer. Just don't know.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
All right, behind him, you had a guy who broke every passing record in the state of Florida, and I think some of the quarterbacks that came out of Florida.
Right.
Tucker Israel.
Right.
He's a little 6-foot guy. He's little, compared to these guys.
Right.
Okay. Then you have this, is his name Cooper? Zarek Cooper or something like that is supposed to be the greatest in the world. So all of these guys, all of them can't stay. There's only one football allowed in the game.
Right.
And that's like this stack up at running back. Are all these guys, all 7 or 8 of these running backs, going to stay at Clemson?
Right.
So those are the things that I thought about this. Also now, the big wide receiver down at Conway, his name is Edwards, a 4-star. And he committed on this day to South Carolina. Clemson thought they had a shot at him, but he has committed to the Gamecocks. So that's just what I run across as we go to press. That's what I see. So, and then one more. Clemson's in on one more big tackle in New Jersey, and that's where he's from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And tell me his name.
I don't know his name.
I know it's on there. An interesting story about him is his cousin works for the Anderson University men's basketball program.
Yeah. Then there's one more guy that everybody was talking about. Now, there was a guy named Amari Rogers had committed to USC, and I don't know if they mean on here South Carolina or Southern Cal, got an offer from Clemson, has decommitted from his commitment. And so he's weighing that. This is the time all this stuff goes on. So, nonetheless, Clemson is in pretty good shape on these most of these things. I'm talking to UConn while I run around this. All right, there's a guy named Will Lawrence, offensive tackle from Memphis, that he is a 2018. So, you know, you got to start offering that soon.
Right. Oh, yeah, that's the thing about recruiting is it's pretty much all done 2 or 3 months ahead of time now, if not 6 months ahead of time. You basically just have to babysit your class, and then you immediately start working on the class 2 years out, and then you start working on the class 3 years out. So yeah, if you're not looking 3 or 4 years out, you're in trouble.
There's a website called Chat Sports, and you know, anybody put up a website and start putting stuff out there. But they have created the top 10 recruiting classes as of today. It could have been yesterday. 10 Texas A&M, 9 Notre Dame, 8 Mississippi. We'll talk about that situation. Man, what a situation. You know, Clemson fans were just heartbroken when Robert Nkemdiche, who at the time was ranked the #1 defensive player in the world, changed his mind.
Well, it wasn't him that changed his mind. Mama changed his mind.
But his brother was already out at Mississippi.
Right.
And so he went out there, and I noticed he made was it AP first-team All-American? At least 2 All-American first teams he's made this year.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know exactly why, if he thought it could fly or what over in Atlanta Sunday.
I think he was trying to get away from the popo myself.
You think so?
Yeah.
And he fell, hit a couple of ledges.
Did he fall?
Or did he
5
jump?
feet, 1 story, 4 stories? What's the official length of the fall? I've seen several different reports.
I know. One of the things that
I mean, if he can fall 4 stories and still live to tell about it, I mean,
he is Superman.
He must be made out of rubber. I don't know.
But anyway, they found some smoking materials in the room.
Some spice and some marijuana and yeah. So yeah, But you know, I'm going to the Sugar Bowl, so I fully expect to see him on the field.
You really think so?
Oh yeah.
Over and under 50%, 20%. You really think he will?
I'll go 40% he plays.
Okay, and his brother, what's his brother's name? His brother has had
his brother,
health problems.
Yeah,
health problems.
Yeah, his brother is hospitalized for some mysterious illness.
And has been for weeks.
Yeah, so he must have gotten the bad stuff. The stuff that didn't make you fly, I guess. I don't know.
We're talking about a guy now two guys whose father suddenly got a job at a hospital.
Yeah, he was a doctor, and suddenly, by just magic, got a job in Jackson, Mississippi, in a hospital in Jackson. And Mama is some kind of African princess, and there were reports that she was, for her son's signature or her signature on the son's paperwork, that she was asking for donations to her African religious fund or something. So I guess it's like the George Costanza Human Fund. I don't know.
It could be, yeah.
It's a bizarre story. It really is. I mean, the guy's got all the talent in the world, but apparently he's got, you know, and how many times have we seen it, Ken? Got body like Tarzan and a pea for a brain, you know.
You know, they've got a quarterback out there at Mississippi right now. Made a second-team All-American AP, I think it was.
Yeah.
And has a
similar situation.
All the talent in the world. Yeah. Every bit of the talent you want a young man to have.
But can't control himself.
Yeah, he just goes off. You know. So Mississippi is number 8. And Alabama's only number 7 so far, according to this. Florida State Seminole 6. The Gators are 5. And that's what they got 25 commitments. Now, a lot of these things go on the count how many you got. You know, I think Clemson has 13 right now. So they're listed today on some of them as 18, even after these 2 5-star recruits, because they only have 13. They add up points and all this stuff. Michigan is number 4. Something big going to happen in Michigan if they can keep that guy under control. Harbaugh. Stanford is number 3. LSU is number 2. Well, poor old LSU. He got